Welcome again for this second part. Let's start right now with the Treasury Technology Leaders perspective. So we will try with my two panelists and co-panelists, try to have a, let's say, a forward-looking and sort of vision of what will be the future in terms of Treasury technology. So again, as we say earlier on, so the question is not longer if Treasury needs to evolve, but how fast and how far it can go. And it's interesting to see also what is the perspective of a large IT vendor. And I'm pleased to have you, Cyrille, for representing Kyriba, and Johan, member of ATEL. So maybe let's start first by a sort of short introduction. So could you start, Johan, and introduce yourself and your role, your expertise in Treasury?
Hi, everyone. Do you hear me? Yeah, okay, good. So, Johan Claudot, I've been in Treasury for 20 years, all my career. Fell by accident and then stayed forever. Usually you do like this. I've worked in different industries, and now I work for a large private equity firm for the last 6 years.
Cyrille?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us. And I'm Cyrille Oudard. I'm leading what we call the value engineering activity for Kyriba, for EMEA. It's about supporting our customers and prospects in what the TMS could bring in terms of value to the corporate. And I would like just 1 minute or two, if possible, to give just at a very quickly a global overview of what the Kyriba platform is today. It's not to explain that we are the best TMS globally. It's just to give you really about what kind of technology now we embed into our TMS. And of course, after we can go to the questions, Francois.
Questions.
Yeah, thank you. So just one slide to explain today what Kyriba looks like. It's really about what we call trust. Why we decided to call this trust? Because we found that CFOs and group treasurers told us that there is a trust gap. It means that they don't trust really about what the AI will provide. They don't trust really about the data they have, about the connectivity they can set up in their TMS. So we really wanted to have this multi-layer architecture of trust, embedding the AI, embedding the reports, embedding as well the connectivity with the ERP and the banks. And we will see that it's a very important point for, let's say, the 2030 ecosystem. And of course, the data, which is also a very important point to have clean data. And I will not go through all the aspect of what we are covering today functionally, but we are still covering, let's say, the cash management, the payment management, risk management, commodities, FX, interest rate, etc., and the working capital optimization, including the receivable and payable financing. That's all for me. Thank you.
But just maybe a first question. So does Kyriba try to expand and maybe more horizontally trying to fulfill some gaps to better serve the corporates? Or
we see our objective is really to be the liquidity platform. So everything that is related to liquidity should be embedded, let's say, in our platform to be sure that the liquidity is optimized within the organization. So I could, for instance, speak about inventory management, which has an impact on liquidity. We are not covering today, but it's something, let's say, really at the frontier of what we are doing today. But we are speaking also about investing, money market fund, or everything about commercial papers. So this is something, of course, that must be embedded in the platform, and we are managing.
Tri-party repos, as we've heard.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about vision and expectation. So maybe for you, Johan, so future-proofing a treasury. So what do you, as corporate, really expect from treasury technology in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? You mentioned 2030, let's say 5 years. What could be the improvement? What are you expecting as a corporate, having, let's say, a solution already implemented? And we heard from Grace that it's an ongoing process. So what are your expectations in terms of development, or what you would like to maybe implement?
Thank you. So ultimately, let's say for the vision, it's a step-by-step approach. So you don't have a big bang approach, but you need to be clear on where you want to go. Also, partnering with the vendor or other vendors. A big focus for us is really data. I agree with what we've heard before. It's never going to get perfect, but you need to have a solid foundation, nevertheless. It's a few items which are missing, where the vendor can apply maybe AI, etc. So for me, a big focus is on data, having instant visibility on various items. It can be cash, it can be risk management, etc. But I would say core theme, data, access to instant view where we are all around the world. And being able also to display, having nice front end, which can be used by the treasurer, but also by various other partners. And your partner are within the firm, but they can be also when you meet with a bank, that you quickly have a nice snapshot, etc. Again, it comes back to data, but how you have access to it, how you can display it in not a tech language, so that it needs to be seamless for me. It means on the treasury side, you need to work to make it seamless with the vendor, but the vendor alone for me is not enough. You need to have people who are able to enter into this exchange, and give it a try. I like the idea of, you need to give it a try. It's not perfect at the beginning, and you seek for improvements. Yeah. Always iterative, you shoot 10%, then 20, then 30, etc.
And working for a US company, a US organization. So, do you think? Maybe it's a tricky question, but do you think that for you it will be an opportunity in Europe and more than Europe, because you are in charge of a larger zone, to test and to be a sort of pilot for things that could be rolled out in other regions and continents?
I think it clicks with technology, but also expertise, knowledge that you build in-house. I think we have, with the existing European landscape, some complexity in treasury that other regions, like in US, don't face, like intercompany loan structure, etc., that you need to have all reporting and your constraints around this. Force us to be a bit more solution-oriented, innovative, find some tech provider. Also, the bank landscape is much more spread in Europe than in the US. So this is something which I've built the team here for the last 6 years, and we've taken really a competitive advantage, and we deploy the solution thanks to the effort that we've put, but also good tech. And good tech is not a unique tech. Sometimes, the one solution fits all. Yeah, you need to have your core solution, but sometimes, you go on very niche product, or you externalize. We leverage a lot on our data hub. Again, it's a company strategy, but I see a way to leverage on this, to have a different front end, where sometimes the TMS is lacking capabilities when it comes to speaking with non-treasurer or presenting data to non-treasurer, where you can get there with the TMS, but maybe with much more energy.
I remember your early days, so you were also trying to educate your management about treasury, because it was a bit brand new for the management, and it just remind me that it's quite important for us to be able to sell the idea. It's not only a question of return on investment, it's also a question of, but why should I invest in additional tools?
I would say vision, and quickly on this, is not technology definitely is an enabler. We cannot do in treasury without technology. For me, it was a must to select a technology that fits my needs now, but can fit a long-term target. It's beyond the technology, but it's building the team that goes around it, and that can evolve as a core treasury team. We like the term strategic partner, but it's first doing the function, doing proper risk management, educating people around this, having visibility. So you start with the foundation and you move to strategic partner. Without the tool, you cannot do it. But it's a combination team and tool.
for you, Cyrille, do you think that you very often see customer or potential customer prospect having a sort of vision, road mapping of where they want to go? Because I have the impression that a lot of corporates we talk to are, let's say, going for TMS and then next stage, and so it's a step-by-step, but I would say tool-by-tool approach, rather than the geographical, let's say, region, what was, by the way, the case for Johan, so being a sort of pilot for Europe and then extending. What do you see?
Yeah, what we see is really that we need to be at every, let's say, with every customer. So it means the one who starts with a TMS and maybe he had the Excel before, the one who has a TMS for maybe 10 years, and then he wants to see very innovative features with AI and with more automation. So we need to support all of them. And so we need also to have, let's say, some baby steps on some new features, and we need to have a very, let's say, a big partnership with some customers in order to create the feature of or the features of tomorrow. And on AI, for instance, we created a lab where we are putting, let's say, we are brainstorming with our customers who wants to see AI bringing more values to them, and we are able to deliver features that fit completely their needs. This is
so two things. Modularity is quite important because you can go step by step, avoiding having the whole cost at inception, and being a lab. And I like the idea of co-creation, so helping the TMS provider to develop what you expect. But a big question that we very often see, so what should I go? Should I go for the best of breed? Should I go for the one-stop shop? Should I go for a sort of what I call the best of, let's say, suite? What is your approach? Is this something you discuss with the customer, or they just say, okay, I need a TMS and we'll see afterwards? So are there, let's say, global strategy or IT strategy?
So if you ask me the question, Francois, I would say that for us, for sure, it's really the approach of having something integrated when it comes to the same functions. If it is related to liquidity management, it's better not to have data that are sitting in some tools and that need to be integrated. You will probably have a lag, let's say, between the copy, the integration of data, to see the data at the same time, at the same place. So for us, for sure, as long as it is about liquidity data, they should sit at the same place. So that's why we are proposing, let's say, our modular solution with a single database below. I mean, that support this software. But of course, it means also that we are not covering, for instance, ERP features, but we are well connected with ERPs to be sure that we we retrieve the data from ERP real time, and we are pushing the data as well real time. But for sure, we will not create an ERP tomorrow.
Yeah. I would say it's really the role of the treasurer to understand his company needs and potentially to see what is in today, where he wants to go. But I would say I've worked on different TMS, using different TMS, and I wouldn't, for each environment, it might be different. You know, I wouldn't say that I would replicate what I've done here to another one, and previously the same. So for me, it's first you need to know your work. You know, you need to define your objective, and then you go on the market. And that's those events that allow to meet and greet, and you know, things evolve quite quickly. Having also experience and seeing, exchanging with peers, you know, how they've achieved with that or that TMS is for me quite important. But ultimately, you can be pilot, but you cannot be pilot on everything. You can be pilot on a subset and partner with a provider, but not on everything. Otherwise, you fail.
And at the end of the day, we know that choosing a solution is always quite tough because you are always scared of having made the wrong choice, and so it's. And when you are engaged to it for a couple of years. But for you, Johan, so in terms of AI, because we talk about AI, we talk about tokenization, where do you see some, let's say, potential features or development for your company?
Okay. I'm maybe not so optimistic as everyone on AI. I don't think it's going to revolutionize immediately. Also because I'm very humble, I don't know everything. We start to work with AI, but it's with little touch. It's little touch. And I have to say that I'm really curious to see how it will accelerate. So it's difficult for me to say that it's going to automate and replace my team, for example. But areas I see is in terms of process, oversight of process of certain bank onboarding. We have multiple documents and basically
KYCs,
the KYC where the AI can be a top-up on an existing process to make it
faster.
like put the oil. Data analytics, we were talking about forecasting, etc. Because we have invested a lot in our data structure, quality, etc. I think we're going to be able to leverage on it. But is it going to revolutionize everything we do? Should my team be worried with their role in the team? I don't think so. I think it will enable us to be much more fast to answer, because it's simply we need to answer faster, to be maybe more accurate and to bring more predictability. But I don't see this as a disruptor, more an enabler for the service we have to render. Voilà. But no revolution, I have to say. We still have to do treasury, and treasury is back to basics sometimes. You need to have access to your bank to pay, so that needs to be done.
Unfortunately, but question for you. So, Cyrille, how do you see the evolution? Because the idea of AI is also to get rid of some tasks to let's say simplify the operation that is consuming a lot of resources and time. And maybe to dedicate more time to the analytics, because I have the impression that some of us are just producing reports without having time to analyze. And when it comes to the strategic role, of course, you need some automation. So do you see, what is the vision of a platform to have real-time access to the information, or do you see the future?
Yeah, because what we see also is AI is not new, is not something that we are discovering today. So we have AI in the platform for some, let's say, fraud detection or forecasting based on machine learning. But what we are speaking today is more about generative AI, and tomorrow about agentic AI. And about generative AI, for instance, let's take an example. When you need to analyze some data, or where my cash is, or where my payments are going, you will go into your TMS, build a report. So it's very efficient until today, because you are opening your report tool in the TMS, and you have your report. So it takes, let's say, 5 minutes maybe to get the report, which is very efficient already. But with a generative AI, you will just ask the question, please give me the landscape of my cash in Europe, splitted by country and by bank, etc. And then he will give you the report directly. You won't have to build the report. So this is just an example where AI could help really to go faster. What we see is not the question, should I use AI or not, but more, I should have AI somewhere if I need it, so I can maybe ask a question and be more efficient on some very complex report or complex analysis. This is generative.
Step by step. Maybe a final question, because we are, let's say, stretched by the timing. But what will be for you the adoption hurdles? So what are the main challenges you faced? I'm sure that for you, Johan, education, explaining to the management why treasury was important and why investing in tools. But what are the main blockers that we could face as treasurers?
For related to AI?
No, new technologies,
new
evolution of our treasury tools.
That's a good one. I would say first, people who have the understanding of what we need to deliver, because you need to raise the right question. If you don't know where you go, even with the best tool, you will not deliver. It always goes back to the team. Throughout my career, systems have evolved, technology has evolved. AI is just another step. So first on this, ensure that your team is well trained, and then trained on the treasury, but also on the tool. I would say another point is security around AI and how the data is used outside the company environment. Voilà. This is another area where we are looking to ensure that the data remains, in a secured environment, accessible and secured.
Any additional comments?
Yeah, I quite share the comment also from Johan, because technology is going faster and faster, let's say, and tomorrow, we are speaking already about stable coins, tokenization. It's not simple stuff. Yeah. So we need to understand and to assimilate and to before using it. Mm-hmm. But tomorrow we will have to use it, and the real-time treasury will be through all of these tokenization, etc. And it's not easy way. It's not easy to understand.
So I would say to conclude that the takeaways is take your time, try to have a vision, go step by step, or let's try to have some lab and to test the technology before, let's say, rolling out, and keep listening and talking to your peers. I totally agree. It's also quite important. What I like, and it's also something that we do with our partners on Journey to Treasury, we try also to work together with PwC, SAP, BNP, for example, and EACT, trying to co-create together, because I think that we can complain as corporate treasurers, but if we do not participate to the evolution of the thing, it will be difficult to get what we want. So thanks a lot for all these comments, very useful. And again, you know that this gentleman will be around, so if you have any specific question, do not hesitate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francois.